Welcome back. Anti-government protests in Iran enter their 8th week and show no signs of slowing down. So far, more than 300 people have been killed and nearly 15,000 arrested, according to a human rights organization in Iran. The country's parliament also voted to institute the death penalty for people who were arrested. These demonstrations in Iran were sparked by the death of 22-year-old Masha Amini, killed in the custody of the country's morality police after refusing to wear a hijab in public. For more, let's bring in Nazanin Boniadi, a British actress and Iranian activist born in Tehran. She's been using her voice to bring awareness to the violence in her home country. Nazanin, good to see you. Thank you for joining us here on ABC News Live.
Thanks for having me.
So we know what these protesters are calling for, a change of government. So the simple question, why isn't the regime listening?
Well, they're not in the habit of listening. We've had mass protests since once nearly every decade. Since 1999, you had the student uprising, and then you had the Green Movement of 2009, and more recently you had November 2019 protests. These current protests are unprecedented for a number of reasons. People are taking to the streets, and women are not only taking off their headscarves and waving them, they're setting them ablaze, cutting their hair in protest. And you've got men standing shoulder to shoulder with the brave women of Iran. And this is really the first female-led revolution of our time. But you have men now on the streets defying the regime and boldly standing in defiance against the supreme leader. The chants on the street are very clear. They want this regime gone. It's death to the Islamic Republic. It's death to the dictator. So this is much broader now than just abolishing the compulsory hijab or getting rid of the morality police. This is people who have risen up against tyranny, 43 years of dictatorship, in order to attain freedom of expression and all their most basic human rights, free and fair trials, due process, standing up against torture, against forced confessions, and so many other violations of their basic human rights.
Yeah, just horrific. And despite an attempt by Iranian authorities to block internet access, you've been in touch with people back in Iran. What are they telling you?
They're saying, please don't stop amplifying our voices and talking to world leaders. It's really heartening to see. Just today, I found out that President Macron has met with Masih Ali-Nejad, a leading dissident overseas. The reason that we, as overseas pro-democratic leaders or members of the opposition, I would say, and pro-democracy and human rights activists are getting meetings with world leaders is because the people of Iran are rising up and amplifying. We are simply amplifying their voices, and they are the ones who are at risk. And it's their courage that is really creating this world focus on what's happening inside Iran.
Nazanin, I know you've spoken with the Vice President Kamala Harris and in front of the UN Security Council about the atrocities happening in Iran. What do you make of the U.S. response, and do you believe the global community has the will to hold the Islamic regime accountable?
I'm hopeful. I walked away from the White House hopeful that this time will be different. It's really heartening that we're hearing messages of support from world leaders. I hope it continues with action, with tangible ways of holding the Islamic Republic to account. And one of those things that we're looking for is an urgent UN Human Rights Council session. We have an Amnesty International petition that gathered more than 1 million signatures, demanding a mechanism of accountability of the most serious crimes against, according to international law, committed by the Islamic Republic. And a quarter of those were Iran. Iran represented a quarter of those signatories. So this is really a grassroots movement by the people of Iran demanding democracy, demanding freedom. And it's really time that we pay attention and heed their calls.
And we know social media has revolutionized the way we get information out across this world, across the globe. How has social media made a difference?
It's made a huge difference. Unfortunately, because of the crackdown in Iran, the internet access to people inside Iran is not what we want it to be. But I'm still getting hundreds of messages from inside Iran every day. There's a lot of citizen journalism that I think is very effective, in the sense that, you know, when they record things with their cell phones and they then send it to people overseas, these are images that we're now seeing of the types of injustices, the brutality. People are suffering bullets to the head, batons to the neck. You know, girls are being sent to psychological re-education centers for taking off their headscarves. There are cases of rape. I mean, it's horrific what's happening inside Iran, but we only know about it because of citizen journalism and because of the amplification on social media. So it really is playing a huge role in raising awareness.
And we know about it because of voices like yours, high-profile voices like yours. Of course, you're one of the stars of Amazon's show, that Lord of the Rings show that is very popular. How has that helped you make your voice heard on this issue?
You know, the bitter irony is I dedicated the role of Bronwyn to the brave women of Iran, fighting at the forefront of the fight against injustice and brutality, and for democracy. They've been fighting for 43 years. And I dedicated the role to them 2 months before the murder of Mahsa Amini. I was at Comic-Con when I said that this role was inspired by them. Little did I know in that moment that just a few months later, I'd be standing outside the Federal Building in Los Angeles speaking to 20,000 protesters who'd gathered in Mahsa Amini's name, standing with the brave women and people of Iran who want democracy and freedom. And so to be able to use this platform for them in this moment means the world to me on a personal level. And I just hope that it makes some kind of an ounce of a difference.
All right. I think it will make a difference. And I know that you are hoping for real and lasting change like so many there in Iran and those who are thinking about those in Iran. Nazanin Boniadi, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.